Continuing with our lesson, Chapter 1, Rise of British Rule in India, page number 4. Jahangir and British East India Company established its first trade center in Surat, Koti, in the year 1613 AD. It was the first trade center. Trade centers were established in Surat, Bharuch, and Ahmedabad, initially by the company. But strong presence of Marathas was seen in this region and the company sensed danger to its existence as Marathas were very powerful during those times, and so company moved towards the south and east directions, namely Machilipatnam, Andhra Pradesh, St. George, Chennai, and Fort William, Kolkata, to set up trade centers, and in 1687 AD Mumbai became their headquarters. After this, in 1668 AD, French East India Company arrived in India for trade and set up trade centers in Mahe, Karaikal, Pondicherry, Chandranagar, Machilipatnam. The English and French became successful in establishing their rule in the entire world and conquering more territories. Three wars took place between Karnataka and the French East India Company and British East India Company in the year 1746 and 1763, in which French East India Company lost, which led to easy expansion of British East India Company. By the end of this war, Portuguese were forever left with Diu, Daman, Goa, while French had centers at Chandranagar, Mahe, Karaikal, and Pondicherry. And the Dutch, who came from Holland, had to leave forever. Heading towards the next topic, Battle of Plassey. Now, this can be said as a turning point in the company's history and making a firm position in India. So let us see. Siraj ud Dawla was ruling over Bengal. He had some opponents in his state. A fortress was built around the trade center in Kolkata in on account of security reasons by the British East India Company without the permission of Nawab. A fortress means likewise a fencing or a compound around his kingdom without knowing to him, and British were telling that we want to give you a secured position. But Nawab destroyed the fortress. He come to know about their witty sense. A small army of company led by Robert Clive reached Bengal to help Kolkata trade center. Now a general was sent by these people and he was heading the army, and he reached Calcutta. Soon the East India Company realized it was not easy to defeat the Nawab's army. Now, earlier these Nawabs were very powerful, so very soon he realized that it was not easy to defeat the Nawab. So, Robert resorted to treachery as a conspiracy was planned to defeat the Nawab. So, his commander in chief Mir Jafar and Seth Ami Chan was forced to join the army. Now, here the British took the help of the policy as divide and rule. He took in confidence his commander in chief, Nawab's commander in chief, Mir Jafar, and they they tried to give them bribe, and so false rumors were spread unnecessarily, harassing the people, and a war was declared at ground near a village named Plassey. The battle was fought on 23rd June 1757. According to the plan, Mir Jafar lost the battle and Siraj ud Dawla was defeated. The battle ended in just half a day as they won the battle. They got a Further continuing, as they got a free hold over 24 paraganas, this is a district in West Bengal. Mir Jafar was made the Nawab of Bengal as it was decided, and thus foundation of company's rule in India was laid with the Battle of Plassey in the year 1757. Further moving in our chapter, a second battle is of Battle of Buxar. Mir Jafar was made Nawab of Bengal as per the treaty under different pretexts. Pretext means he was continuously told that you have to do this, you have to listen, and you have to collect the revenue and various other taxes for the benefit of the English East India Company. As company possessed more greed to gain more powers, so they dethroned Mir Jafar and made a second person, Mir Qasim, as the Nawab of Bengal. Now, this Mir Qasim was more ambitious than Mir Jafar, and his working techniques were far more strict than Mir Jafar. So, it was not beneficial for the East India Company to keep Mir Qasim as the Nawab for a longer period. So he was replaced again by Mir Jafar. Now there was a revenge between Mir Qasim and the East India Company. So to threat company, he took refuge with Nawab of Awadh, Mir Qasim. And all these people joined hands with each other. The Mughal Emperor Shah Alam came to Awadh and all three decided to join hands and fight with the company unitedly and declared a war. On 22nd October 1764, at Buxar, East India Company fought against the United Army and they lost it. Thus the company got the Diwani right to collect revenue. Revenue means money from in the taxes from Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Heavy taxes were collected from farmers, those who were growing cash crops, and thus the Indian common people were exploited by the East India Company. Further continuing with our next expansion of company rule. Expansion of company rule. As many powers were in the hands of the English government, they started taking hold over many areas. They passed a regulating act in 1773 AD in which Governor of Bengal was made the Governor General and all the respective activities as trade and political activities of company were brought under his direct control. Mumbai Madras governor and his council were brought under him. Thus, Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of India. He fought many wars during his tenure, namely the First Maratha War and Second Mysore War with Hyder Ali of Mysore. Many problems were faced by the company. After Warren Hastings, Cornwallis took over as the new Governor General. During the tenure, the Third Mysore War took place with Tipu Sultan, famously known as Tiger of Mysore. It was unable to defeat the Tipu Sultan by the company alone. So the company took help from Marathas and the Nizam to defeat Tipu Sultan. It became a big challenge for Tipu to face these combined forces and finally he accepted the treaty by the company.